everybody, and welcome to a new Dota 2 mid lane tier list, 7.37D. We're gonna start off with some meta defining heroes, like Puck. Puck is cheating currently. Ever since they buffed his innate ability of like dodging spells gives him 8 billion mana on HP. You can dodge 2 tower hits from max range if you walk out and you like double heal. You basically get a bottle sip every time you press phase shift. It's something ridiculous. Unbelievably broken hero. His weakest part has always been the laning phase. They buffed his armor and then gave him Giga Sustain. So he's just nuts right now. Other meta-defining picks currently in the mid lane. I think we're going to throw Huskar up here next. He's like very medium. Normally I would say like he's B tier or A tier because he counters a lot of meta heroes like Ember Spirit, like Void Spirit is picked a lot. But he got nerfed quite a bit by turning all of his spells into HP and all his items into HP. Because mana was just free unless you were against like a Diffusal hero or Anti-Mage before. Like you just never ran out of mana on Huskar. Because you only had one spell and it cost 50 mana. So you tax yourself more HP. Your Q is a silence and not a disarm. And it takes like 10 years to cast. Which also sucks a lot of the time. And the fiery incendiary burning spear is pretty good to cheese some melee hero lanes, but it feels pretty bad against a lot of range heroes. I feel like if you're not actually going to kill them, it taxes you a lot of HP. Like it gets you pretty low. It gives you one extra level of burning spears is how you should think about it, but it costs more HP. So like a level 1 burning spear is what, 5 damage a second? With the facet that gives the percent damage, you're doing like 9 damage a second to most heroes, like 8.5 to 9 damage. So you kind of get to start with an extra level, kind of like the Ogre facet. When you get Burning Spears level 1 and then the passive at level 2, you're really strong. But again, if you're not killing people with it, it's not like the other facets are better. You just kind of wish your Burning Spears didn't do so much fucking damage to you. Next, we have what's like a crowd favorite? Invoker. Just did an Invoker guide. That's also on my YouTube channel. Invoker, I'm gonna put him in B tier. I think previously he was in A tier. I think the Glipnir nerf doesn't hurt him that much because people are already like going away from it. They were doing Witchblade or Mage Slayer, Dragonlance type stuff. I think part of the reason why Invoker doesn't feel as good right now, for me, like I'm never like, ooh, this is a good Invoker game. There's a lot of cheesy heroes being picked in my games, so like very few stuns, and the enemy team always has Puck or Quap or something, like some mobility hero, and like you're not like, you hate playing against heroes you can't kill with like lockdown. So when you have Legion commanders in the meta, Mars in the meta, you have Faceless Void in the meta. The only heroes that feel really nice and that are kind of meta, you can buff Luna with Alacrity, which feels good. Alk is like good combo with the stun, and you can buff him with Alacrity as well. Medusa you can Alacrity. But other than that, there isn't many carry heroes you can play around. Like I even get Bristlebacks in my game sometimes as carry. It sucks if you have a Battle Fury type carry, like a PA. There just isn't like... And again, like a lot of the supports are stuff that don't do much damage, so Quaswex feels kind of tough. Like you're not going to have the Hoodwinks as often or the Skywraths that you can set up kills for. You're going to get Shadow Demons. People are buying Solar Crest and Pavise really fast and Glimmer Capes. So people are kind of tanky. But when Invoker is very good, he's very good. Like I said, I feel like I have a 100% win rate when I pick Invoker with Medusa or like very high win rate with Luna. even with Shadow Fiend, it can be pretty good. But two of those heroes, like the Luna Shadow Fiend, they're either like first picked, first banned a lot right now for me in my games. And once again, like there's not much options you have as Invoker to kill Puck. You'll like do pretty well in lane against him a lot of the time, but not like gonna set up kills on him. Especially if you get like Shadow Demon Omni as your two supports. Good luck, right? There's not a lot of catch on supports or even off lanes right now. Visage is like decently popular off lane. Auras are decently popular off lane instead of stuns. Just stuff like that. That was a lot of yapping. Next, a hero that's risen a lot for me this particular patch, especially with the small buff to Spirit Vessel, is Earth Spirit. I don't know if I'd put him A tier. I think he's like pretty solid B tier. I think the silence is pretty good. Again, like probably the best hero to pick for mid if you want Vessel, like if you want anti-healing. You get Vessel, eventually you'll get a Shiva's late game, I think. You're very tanky. And laning on Earth Spirit mid is really free, just because you can kick rocks. It's like does 1 billion damage to creeps. Also, like, it helps a lot if you can pick a catch hero mid right now, I feel like, because there's so many, like, Shadow Demons and Omnis, and, like, even support Tinker pops up here and there, even after the nerfs, where they just don't have any catch. So having catch on the mid is pretty important. Earth Spirit is nothing but catch. Pango, I'm going to put Pango probably top of B tier. I think the Thunderbolt facet is very interesting and powerful. I've seen a lot of people do pretty well on it. It looks ridiculous every time I see it. He zooms. I think the build is Diffuse Ag still for mid. I don't know if they're going Arcane Boots or Treads. I haven't seen many Echo Sabers, but Pango has looked pretty good. Another hero for mid that like kind of has catch, right? Like the ult is very good at catching late game. The blink. At least in the mid game. What else do we have? Coddle. I'm gonna pick for fun. I haven't won a game with a Coddle mid on my team in like 2 months, ever since the facet patch. I feel like the hero just sucks. It in theory should be a good Vessel carrier, and they did buff Vessel. But I think the nerfs to Solar Flare or Solar Bind, what is it? I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Solar Bind. It's only like 20% level 1 instead of 35%, and you need to buy the shard to get 2 of them instead of a talent at level 15. I feel like that's just insane nerfs for mid Coddle. I feel like the hero just does way more damage or way less damage than it used to, and people are tankier. So it's just very hard to make work, even as a Vessel carrier. Queen is A tier. Queen would be S tier if Puck wasn't S tier. So, like, kind of, I think overall, Queen is a stronger hero than Puck in most games. I think the pure damage on the ult with the Masochist thing, facet, does so much damage. It cuts through all the barriers. It kites BKBs. It's just so much damage. She farms insanely fast. The problem is that Puck is in every game, and Puck has, since the beginning of time, been the counter to Quap. So I actually have a pretty good win rate myself as Quap versus Puck because I'm really good at the lane. Like, it's a skill matchup, and I've played it since Dota 2 came out. I'm just very good at it. Puck should win the matchup. It's probably like 53 or 55, 45 for Puck. But just keep in mind that, like, Puck is the best hero in mid lane right now. And despite how strong Quap is, it is annoying to get coiled. What else do we got? We got Haktua Spirit, good old Viper. Kind of similar to Huskar. Like, you can pick it as like a cheese last pick type thing to win your lane. I think both of them are of similar power level. If you need a break, you can pick Viper. If you prefer spitting instead of throwing spears, you can pick them. I don't think there's much difference. I think they'll win the same lane matchups, and Huskar can kind of build more catch later on. I feel like Viper, it's like weird because Huskar farms faster, but Viper with 6 items is definitely stronger than Huskar with 6 items, so you'll eventually scale into the late game on Viper. but the mid to late game is usually kind of rough because you farm very slow. Whereas Huskar can like be top net worth at like 30 minutes in a lot of games. And the Ags Blink or Ags Travels, like you actually do get some mid game catch on the hero too. Um, Definitely an earlier power spike hero with taking Roche and stuff. Whereas Viper, you hit that 25 universal talent at like 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes. All of a sudden, you're like the strongest carry in the game a lot of the time. Sniper, I don't know. I want to say pick for fun. It's usually in Herald Superstar Division. If there was ever a patch for Sniper to be amazing in, it would be laning Puck, right? And I feel like Sniper has like a low win rate versus Puck right now, and that's like his best matchup. So oftentimes you're picking Sniper and you're going the shrapnel, the triple shrapnel facet, like the insta damage one, and you're hoping the guy you're laning against just gets mad and dies to you a bunch, and then you snowball. Otherwise, like, this hero feels completely miserable and useless in the mid game to me. You don't do enough damage at like 15-25 minutes, and you just explode. He just like insta explodes. So even if it's a good game, there's probably better options to pick, and Hero's just like not very good in my opinion. Just not very good at all. I think we'll throw Visage and Hero Specialist. I think mid Visage is much worse than offlane or even carry Visage right now, or support, because the money facet is the good one right now, like Soul Assumption money facet, and you're just gonna get way more kills before 6 in a side lane. Like it feels too slow to play it from mid, even though you get your 6 faster, because you could be getting so many kills in the side lane in the early levels. Bum, bum. Let's scroll from the bottom a bit. There's not a lot of mid heroes at the bottom of the Dota list. Still ain't seeing nothing. I lost to a mid Magnus today, but I wouldn't say it's like a very good mid hero right now. You can put him in pick for fun. There's not much explanation there. He's just not that strong right now. He's a fun hero to play. And you're not going to grief the game by picking it by any means. Just a lot of heroes better than him right now. Monkey King? Monkey King's up at the top. All the mid heroes are at the top because I like reset the list, I see. I'd say, I mean, Monkey King was S tier. I think after the few nerfs to the jumping facet, he's just like bottom of B tier maybe. I think if you have a good lane matchup, or you see an angle to like jump around to the side lanes, you have good aggressive side lanes, he can work. Still feels insanely strong with like the triple Wraithband build, but not only do Wraithbands not double at 25 minutes, which was like kind of the whole mid Monkey King strat, was the jumping facet to jump around the whole map instantly, buy nothing but Wraithbands and treads and just roam. Your Wraithbands don't double, the jumping has to be like, you have to be what? Above 90% HP, or is it 95% HP now? Or you have to be 100%? Lone Druid? I don't think I've seen a Lone Druid. It got nerfed too, right? It was like a carry build before with the 3 items. Like no bear. Natures, I think... I'm going to put him C. He's probably higher than that. He did get a little bit of a baby nerf. But again, I think Hero's just better in a side lane. I just don't see how much better what it does better as a mid, other than get 6 really fast. Some matchups are nice. Like I think you should beat an Invoker 1v1. Other than that, I don't know. Storm, I'm going to put Storm at the top of B tier. He's basically -1 tier because of Puck. Storm would be like A or S tier even, if not for Puck. I would say like minimum A tier. But if Puck isn't banned, I don't feel like you should pick Storm. So if Puck is banned in the drafting phase, or like you pre-ban Puck in your little ban list, and Puck does get banned, all of a sudden Storm just like skyrockets in value for me. Similarly, I think Void Spirit and Tiny are both good against Puck, but they aren't really strong right now. Like Tiny was in every game, and then it got nerfed. Void Spirits received a lot of nerfs over time, and he's in a very good spot right now. He's very balanced. He's like 48 to 49% win, which in my opinion, heroes that are plus or minus 2% from 50% win rate are very balanced, and they require more skill to win on than just the hero itself. Whereas like we've had heroes with like 55 to 60% win rate, which are completely busted. And Void Spirit and Tiny were that busted a while ago. Void Spirit longer than that, but Tiny more recently. And they're good at catching, which is, something you want from the mid. There's better heroes to do that role currently, unless you're specifically against Puck. Aghanim's Void Spirit, one of the best ways to catch Puck. Blink Toss, one of the best ways to burst Puck. Just keep in mind that like even though you're gonna pick it in a good matchup, Puck's probably gonna just win more anyway because he's Puck. But like definitely a very favorable matchup. TA, I'm gonna put him in pick for fun. If the TA Shard didn't get nerfed so hard with the silence, probably be one of the best heroes in the patch. Similar to like Void Spirit Tiny, your best matchup's going to be Puck, but there's just way better heroes you would pick against Puck. And you can pick it if you're good. So like against Puck, this goes up a tier or two. Not against Puck, it goes down. Sand King's definitely still viable. I'd put Sand King probably in the middle of B tier. There's some bad matchups. He's not completely broken anymore, but a fast blink phase boot Sand King mid can have a lot of impact. You can scale pretty hard. Definitely another good catch hero out of mid. Again, like the meta right now in high MMR and pro play is like having good catch out of your mid. I feel like more so than just winning the lane. Either like a super mobility hero they have to catch, or catch itself is what like the mid hero needs to be right now. Ember Spirit, I think his mana costs are just too high, but if it is a good Ember game, you're not going to have a bad time. If Ember is like your best hero, you can maybe bump it up a tier. He's gotten nerfed a lot since he was like Giga S tier. He's gotten small nerfs every patch and a couple big nerfs since the beginning of the facets. And I personally think his mana costs are just too high right now, and he's just annoying to play, so I haven't played him at all, really. But if you can work around that and you have a good matchup, he's still pretty good. I never feel like I get slight spammed out of lane anymore, for example. Like I just played Void Spirit versus Ember today, and even though I got hit by a couple double slights, it just felt like he was out of mana constantly. Like I got a kill on him mid, I think at like 6 or 7 minutes, just because he didn't have enough mana to remnant out after slighting. Like it's just one of the most annoying nerfs I've ever seen to a hero. Is just making the slight cost more mana. And Glip not nerfed, that's true. Just all the items he builds got nerfed a bunch. His spells themselves got nerfed. But if you do have a good start, it's fine. Used to be one of the main counters to Puck. Puck got a few extra points of armor a couple patches ago, and Ember Spirit got a bunch of nerfs to a Sleight of Fist. What else we got? Lena? I think probably just a for fun hero, really. I feel like the hero just sucks. Anytime it's picked as a carry on my team, it's just an insta loss. Like I'm just like ready to go next. Middle, I will say the magic build has some applications, but I don't think you want a big magic burst hero out of your mid right now. You really want catch. And going like, they go like what, Aether Lens, Aghanim's Blink and stuff like that. And until Hex, it's not really good catch. It's just good burst and follow up. I just don't see the point of it. It's really hard to burst people in the meta too. Like you can get enough damage on Lena this patch with the E-Blade and all that, but just keep in mind most heroes are walking around with Pavise, Glimmer, Pipe, Greaves. They're just going to be really tanky. A bunch of bracers, and it's just like I also feel like the lane matchups aren't that good for you. Even the most annoying matchup for me when I used to play a lot of QoP was Lena, and I just feel like the lane is fine right now for QoP. So it's just like another lane that I don't really worry too much about. SF, I think SF is best as a right clicker right now. you shouldn't do the magic build at all. And for that reason, he's picked like every game as a carry in my games. But you can play carry Shadow Fiend mid. It's just not. It's just off meta, and slightly worse, but still playable. Oh, yeah, Primal Beast. Um, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put him at bottom of B. There isn't many heroes I want to like pick up and smash into the ground right now, and I'm undecided if Primal is decent against Puck or not, because it does feel good when you catch him. You do a lot of burst damage. You have like if you do get your ult on Puck, you're gonna chain CC him with the charge no matter what. He can't get phase shift off. But like getting there, like grabbing a Puck is hard. Laning against Quap is hard. Laning against Storm is hard. Laning against Invoker is miserable. You just get kited during your trample as well later on. There's one matchup that Primal... I think Primal owns Sniper, I heard, but I haven't had a chance to play that. So, I'm take it with a grain of salt a bit. But what else do we got? Earthshaker. There's a lot of B tier heroes in mid right now. I feel this way when I queue as well. Like, I feel like I have to pick Quap or Puck if they're in the pool a lot of the time. And if they're not in the pool, I can just pick whatever I feel like playing and it'll be fine. So it's kind of a fun patch in that respect. Razor. Razor's an offlane hero, so I just want to pick Razor mid. And he's not a very good offlaner either right now. He's okay. He buys auras in some games and does okay. You can pick him as Shaker's right behind Storm if he's not countered. Probably better than Pango. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I feel like a lot of these heroes are very similar. He's definitely above Earth Spirit. Beastmaster mid work, not very well. Tinker's not a mid hero. Alka's not a mid hero. Rubik's not a mid hero. We'll just fill out the hero specialist thing for now until I want to put Leshrac and stuff too. I don't think these heroes are very good right now, but again, like if you have 10,000 games on Meepo, you're probably going to do fine in any patch on the hero. It's not just like when those heroes are meta, I do include them in the tier list, but these are heroes that you can be good enough at to like supersede the tier list in that sense. But I think OD is, I don't know, I wanted to try OD more. I'm going to put him in pick if you hate yourself for now. There might be a playstyle or build or matchup that works. I haven't seen it myself, and I haven't seen this hero win in like a year. I've seen like it picked like 4 or 5 times and lose every time. So if you are like 2 to 3 KMR, OD will feel really strong because his weakness is farm speed. He doesn't farm or shove waves at all, and he has to win lane, which he does 1v1. But anytime I've tried to pick OD, I just get ran at off cooldown in the first 10 minutes. I can't farm. I get behind. I can't catch up unless I buy Midas. I'm just worthless. It's just really bad. Lesh, I think the Misanthropy, what's the one that makes his W do 1,000,000 damage really fast? I just played against Lesh. I think the blink, I think it's kind of a meme, to be honest. I'm going to put it in D tier. There were people playing with it a lot, they would go like blink Kaya with it and just one-shot people at blinking with the W. But it feels like a meme. You have 900 HP, like someone sneezes on you and you fall over. I feel like it's just terrible. You can snowball if you like pick people off enough solo, but you just get owned. DP? I don't think DP is a good mid at all. I don't even think it's a good offlane right now. I think the hero is just like you have to hate yourself to pick Death Prophet, I think. Zeus, probably below Razor. Just not very good right now either. What else are we missing? There's definitely like a hero I'm missing. Let me check the stat website for it. Brood can be on the list, actually. Brood is crazy in the right game, in the right hands. Phoenix, no. I want to move one hero up to A. I'm just not sure which one as well. So we'll have to like reconsider. I'll probably just move Storm to A, honestly. Below Quap. But again, kind of kept in check by Puck. Puck is very good against Storm and Quap. Primal A? I don't think so. I would like to play more Primal against Puck to get a feel for it. It might be better than I think it is too, but again, like I just haven't really seen it. We have nothing in Herald Superstar for once. That's kind of weird. Like Sniper's actually a little bit meta. He's usually like the king of that. And Viper, and like I think Viper's actually pretty good. I think Wind is not very good. I don't think Bat's very good. There's a lot of heroes like Wind, Bat, Mirana. Like there's stuff you can make work that's off meta, but we don't need to like put the whole hero list in. Necro. Oh yeah, Necro can be in Herald Superstar. Necro is a beast in Herald actually. You will crush the MMR games as Necro. Any year, any patch. Bristleback too. We could put Bristleback in the same category. Like heroes that like require coordination to kill, or they just kill you over time and like regen a bunch. That shit's broken in low MMR. Consider Phoenix. Hasn't been picked that much more. I know people experimented with it, but I really don't see it that much. Timber bad? I think so, yeah. Timber maybe as like the bottom of like as a counter pick only. There's just like nothing to counter pick right now. Like people used to counter pick Ember or Void Spirit with it. They're not like super meta. You're not gonna just you're gonna load into a game. The three most picked heroes are Puck, Storm, Quap. You're gonna pick Timbersaw. You're gonna get magicked down to death, and then you're not gonna pick Timber again. Is basically what happens this patch. No, I think TA is really bad, personally. Templar was just maybe like part of it. Maybe Templar is C tier, to be honest. Maybe I'm like undervaluing it. It is good against Puck, Storm, and Quap, I think, especially Quap and Storm. So it probably is a lot better than I'm giving. I just haven't seen it very much, and I haven't played it myself. But now that I think about it, it probably is like actually pretty good compared to the other ones. I think you're right, Bad Luck. I think that is like probably the whole list. Again, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting something super important, but I think that's all of them. Clinks? Nah, I don't think he's meta right now. You can make it again. You can make any hero mid work for the most part. You can play mid Legion. You can play mid Gyrocopter even. You can play mid Dragon Knight, but they're just not very mid Kunkka. Rubik can be a mid bat sometimes. I've even seen people do well on like Bounty mid. There's a lot of heroes you can make work. They're just not popular enough for me to include on the list for this patch. And the idea is to like give a meta overview. So no Alk, no Alk's a carry. Or like a flex to mid in competitive play maybe. Yeah, but you're not flex picking in a matchmaking game. This is for matchmaking. This isn't for like I'm not gonna hand this tier list over to who's the best team right now. Let's just say whatever, Tundra. I'm not be like, all right, Tundra, you gotta pick these heroes now. These are the meta. This is for like the general population. For me, this is my list. I'm not handing this to Owie and being like, yep, pick this or you lose. People probably picked Alk and then flexed it to mid because he farms freely against Puck. But like Captain's mode is a completely different mode than I'll pick. But yeah, that's the whole tier list. Like, comment, subscribe, or my grandma's not getting out of the cage. And your grandma's not getting out of the cage. You know who you're talking to. The king of tier lists, okay? I got your fucking grandma. Bye-bye.